Hello guys, welcome back onto the Dutch Couch. I've got to say, what an absolute breath of fresh air Hearts have been this season in Scotland. The Premier League there needs this, I think. I mean, they've beaten Celtic yesterday. They're sitting top of the league, 16 games, only one defeat. They've been to Rangers, beat them in their own backyard. They've beaten Celtic already, home and away. They went and beat them 2-1 yesterday in Glasgow. They fear absolutely nobody, and neither should they. Let's not forget, it's been I think it's been 40 years since anybody other than the old firm clubs have won the league in Scotland. So the fact that they're putting up a massive challenge, I think is great for Scottish football in general. And I actually, in a roundabout way, think it's good for the old firm. I think they need to be challenged. It's great for the league, and for me, it's great for the neutral. I think it's brilliant. This is a club that finished 7th last season. I think they lost 16 games last season, only won 15. So they lost more than they won. What an absolute turnaround. It's incredible. People are going to point out, obviously, people are going to say, well, Celtic and Rangers, they're not the same, so it doesn't really matter. It's going to happen. Someone's going to jump in. I don't buy that. I don't jump on board with that. What I jump on board with is that this club has recruited brilliantly. They've got a team together that absolutely want it, and they're sticking it. They're sticking it into the old firm. They want this. They want the league title. And these players are showing no fear. I think they deserve all the credit they're getting for this, 1,000,000%. They deserve to be where they are, 1,000,000% in my opinion. People have been saying, I've been seeing on social media, and I think people were making a joke of it yesterday after the win at Celtic, that their bubble had burst. Obviously, they've gone on a great run. They did lose a game at Aberdeen the other week in awful conditions, I've got to say. I watched some of that game, the atrocious conditions. But they said their bubble had burst. I know they'd drawn a couple of games they thought they should have won. Not at all. Yesterday's game, that's evidence that their bubble definitely hasn't burst. And there's full belief in this squad of players and the manager that they can do the job this season. They've gone to Celtic yesterday, and I think they fully deserve the win. I expected them actually to get beaten yesterday, and I'm thinking, is that going to be it? Are the wheels going to fall off? I thought they deserved to win it. I thought at times they looked really comfortable. I thought Celtic were really poor under the new manager, which surprised me because I thought the atmosphere would be up. I thought the players would be on it for the new manager. Didn't materialise. They're well up for this challenge. Like I said, they recruited well in the summer. I think their net spend was only about 1.27 million. What I like what they've done, they've managed to get a right good balance between homegrown domestic players and foreign players. Sometimes when you have a lot of foreign players come in, the dynamics can change massively. I think it suited these really well, and I've got to give credit to Derek McInnes there, the manager. I don't think anything he's doing is absolutely groundbreaking tactically, but I think what he has got them doing is the basics. They're doing them brilliantly, in and out of possession. Every game that I watch Hearts, every player looks like they know their job. They look like they're all on board with the manager's instructions. They look tight-knit as a group. And that's going to be the key going forward, because mentality is going to be key for these now. They're going to need to believe every single week that they don't need to fear anybody, that they can beat anybody. I think they've got it in them. And I'd love to see it as a neutral. That will be the biggest challenge for me. Because I'll tell you what, if they do have a couple of dodgy results, and they start doubting themselves, and Celtic grab a couple of wins and go back on top, I think you'll struggle to catch them. I think while you're ahead and you've got momentum, that is the key word for me, momentum. Hearts need momentum to keep this title challenge up. If they have a really, really dodgy spell, I think the wheels could fall off mentally. They're not used to being in the title challenge, right? Celtic have been there many times, current champions. I think they've won it so many years in a row now. That's going to be the test. But I truly believe, from what I've seen on the pitch, these players and this manager, who's very experienced, are more than capable of winning this league. He's got them doing the basics, which you're going to need. I think the advantage that Derek McInnes has over the old firm coaches in particular, I'm looking at Nancy of Celtic. Obviously, he's never managed in Scotland, so he's new to it. McInnes has got so much experience. He knows this league inside out. Same with Danny Roll. He's never managed in Scotland before, so he's new to this. Although he does look like he's turning Rangers around. I think that experience of McInnes could end up being absolutely priceless for Hearts. It's going to be a special running. And I'll tell you what, I've got friends who are fans of Scottish football. I've got friends who are Rangers fans, but I've got a couple of good friends, and they're actually Highbees. So they're Hibernian. They're your rivals. And I would love to wind them up about this. I would love to see Hearts win the league so I can give them stick constantly. That'd be magic. That'd be magic for me. I watched the game yesterday. What I was impressed with, actually, obviously they went 2-0 up, Hearts. Celtic, there was going to be a little bit of an onslaught towards the end. I think Celtic went 2 up top. Straight away, McInnes was like, no, we're going 5 at the back. He switched things straight away. He showed adaptability. Tactically, he thought, you know what, we'll get this job done. And they got the job done. It's what good managers do. I know they had a little scare. They let her go in a couple of minutes into injury time. But not at one point during that game did I think Celtic were going to win that game. That is how well Hearts have done. They've got to a stage now where they're going to places like that and showing no fear. Where a few seasons ago, I think anybody who goes to those places, both Ibrox and Celtic, and basically crumble. I think most teams are beaten before they arrive at these stadiums. That's gone now. That fear factor has gone for so many teams. And I know we'll talk about Rangers and Celtic both dropping off. They have dropped off. We can see that. The quality's not there anymore. You're not attracting the players. I remember the days when the Dutch players, Ronald de Boer, the likes of those players, were at Rangers. You're not attracting those sort of players anymore. The Scottish League is not, there's no money there. The Premier League, etc., has absolutely ripped so many leagues to pieces, in my opinion. But what these teams are showing is absolute heart. And what I like about Hearts in particular, what's going to be important in the running too, you've got Shankland, you've got Braga, you've got Kajridis, I hope I've said his name right. They're all scoring goals, they're all assisting. If they can carry that on, that sort of form, there's nothing to stop these putting a serious title challenge in. Defensively, I think they're decent. They look well marshalled. They look tactically, I think the manager has got them spot on from what I've seen. I know there's a couple of results lately when they've dropped some points and they've not been scoring as many goals. I think that will come back. Shankland, if he stays fit, I think he scores so many goals. He's natural goal scorer for me, and I'm very surprised as a neutral that he doesn't get more time on the pitch for Scotland, the national team. And I'd actually done a video on the Scottish national team, the qualifying for the World Cup after the Denmark game. That got a really good reception from the Scottish fans. Actually, I'll leave a link to that in the description. But with Hearts, they look like they got good depth in their squad. When I've seen them, and I don't watch every single game in Scotland, I'm not going to lie, I don't watch every game, but when I've seen teams like Hearts, you get a few injuries over the years, and you seem to fall away a little bit. I said they only finished 7th last season, so it's very rare that they've been in, I'd say, proper title races for years. But now they seem to have got a squad put together that can cope with a little bit more of that, which is unbelievable. I think they made quite a few signings in the summer. But it's great to see the old firm challenged. Like I say, for them also. I believe they would also enjoy this challenge. They would embrace a challenge from elsewhere. Especially for me, it's important for a club from the capital city of Scotland to be successful. I think that's a massive thing. But they must stay ahead of Celtic, definitely. If they fall behind Celtic, I fear for them. But stay ahead. Get that momentum. That momentum, the magic M word in football, that is absolutely vital for these. If they can keep that, I think they can go all the way. How incredible would it be for you Hearts fans to see your team on an open-top bus parading the Scottish League trophy through Edinburgh? How incredible would that be? How incredible. I get goosebumps thinking about it. I'm not even a fan. It's madness. I think Rangers have turned the corner. So their Rangers for me are a bit of a dark horse now, because I think they're about 7 points behind Hearts. In this league, the games come thick and fast. So if Danny Roll can get Rangers on a roll, excuse the pun, they could sneak up. Anything could happen here. I think it's going to be one of the most interesting title races in absolute years. And that is a positive for Scottish football, because it gets slaughtered. Let's get it right. A lot of people slaughter it. Ah, it's boring. Celtic Rangers. The last few years, Celtic just turn up, beat everyone. I think this is brilliant. And I think they should embrace it. And I think Hearts fans, if one of you watches this, let me know in the comments how exciting this is at the moment as a Hearts fan. Because as a neutral, I'm watching this closely. And I've not always done that in Scotland because I've found it quite boring myself. I'm totally honest with you. When it's been constantly Celtic Rangers. And I know Rangers have been quite poor themselves the last few years, so it's got even worse. But the fact that Hearts are giving it some and absolutely challenging the hierarchy, for me, is brilliant. All I can say is good luck for the rest of the season. And I will keep a close eye on this. Hope by the end of the season you're watching that bus go through the city with your players parading that bit of silverware. Honestly, that as a football fan, that must be such an exciting thought. But yeah, enjoy the ride. Have a good one.